What is an ECG? A brief introduction. Electrocardiogram, also called an electrocardiograph or ECG, is a graphic representation of two electrical events called depolarization and repolarization. Depolarization is the spread of the electrical impulse across the heart, and repolarization is the recovery stage following this. Current is detected by electrodes or conductors which are placed on the skin and is represented on the ECG graph paper as positive and negative deflections called waves and complexes. When no current is being detected, you can see a flat line called a baseline. We now need to look in more detail at the ECG graph paper itself. On the screen you can see a magnified image of the paper, but on an ECG printout, one small square measures 1 mm in width and 1 mm in height. Larger squares comprise 5 by 5 small squares and are identified by darker outlines. Being a graph, we have a vertical and a horizontal axis. On the vertical axis we measure amplitude, which is the amount of electrical force being generated. This means that the greater the force is, the taller or deeper the deflections. On the vertical axis, 10 mm or 10 small squares in height are equivalent to 1 millivolt of electrical current. On the horizontal axis we measure time in seconds, which means that the longer it takes for the electrical forces to move across the heart tissue, the wider the waveforms will appear. One small square or 1 mm on the horizontal axis is equivalent to 0.04 of a second, and this corresponds to a standard paper speed of 25 mm a second. On the screen you can now see an example of a 12-lead ECG with the standard voltage and time settings written along the bottom. The ECG shows 12 leads or viewpoints of the heart. There are 6 limb leads which are called 1, 2, 3, AVR, AVL and AVF, and 6 chest leads called C1 to C6. Although the leads are looking at the same electrical events, they are viewing these events from different angles, so the waveforms in each lead will look slightly different. Having multiple viewpoints is useful because it provides more detailed information about what may be happening in different areas of the heart. You might compare this to watching a football match, where in order to get a good overall picture of the action, you would need to have cameras positioned in different locations around the pitch. Some of the 12 leads have similar views, so can be grouped together into specific areas or territories. For example, leads 1, AVL, C5 and C6 all view the left side of the heart, which is called the lateral territory. Leads 2, 3 and AVF view the bottom of the heart, known as the inferior territory. Finally, leads C1 to C4 all broadly view the front or anterior territory of the heart. Along the bottom of the ECG, you will usually see a continuous strip of lead 2. This makes it easier to assess the heart rhythm without the distraction of the intermittently changing leads above.